Hello, welcome to Lesson 10, Function Focus with Ms. Barrett. Today, hopefully by the end of the day, you'll be able to perform operations on polynomials independently using learned strategies. We're going to talk about tricky multiplication today. And for your homework or your practice, I will give you a quiz review. You're going to have a quiz on Friday. I will give you the quiz on Friday, and it will be due on Monday by 12 noon. Okay. So far we've been multiplying binomials using the box and FOIL method. Now there are situations in which the polynomials can be larger polynomials. So for example, number one, we have a binomial multiplying by a trinomial. Okay, and then number two, we have a trinomial multiplying by a trinomial. Okay, so it's very possible to do this with the box method. So the FOIL method is only used when you have two binomials. Okay? That's when you use the FOIL method. Now, if you have a binomial and a trinomial, the box method will be your best bet. Now, you can also just distribute it, but I think the box method is more visually helpful. So if you notice, I have 3 boxes at the top and 2 boxes at the side, which tells me that I must put this binomial over here, 3x minus 5. Okay? And then my trinomial goes at the top, 2x squared minus 8x plus 1. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last video. I'm going to multiply every column times every row. So 3x must be multiplied times everything, and negative 5 must be multiplied times everything. So 2x squared times 3x is going to be 6x cubed. Now, if you get confused and you can't remember the rules of exponents, just look at how many x's you have. I have 1x here and I have 2 x's here, because x squared is like saying x times x. So that means I have 2 x's here and I have 1x here. So when I multiply them, I get 3 x's, because you have to add the exponents. So now I have 3 x's. So 3 times 2 is 6. And x times x, you add the exponents, you have 3 x's now. So it's x to the third. Here we have a negative 8x times 3x, which is going to give me negative 24x squared, because 3 times negative 8 is negative 24, and x times x is like having 2 x's. Now I have x squared. And then 3x times 1 is just going to be 3x. Now I have to do the same thing, multiply negative 5 times all of these. Negative 5 times 2x squared is going to be negative 10x squared. Negative 5 times negative 8x is going to be 40x. And then negative 5 times 1 is going to be negative 5. The only thing that's different from what we've been doing is that there's more numbers. There's more numbers now. Okay? So we're just going to write out what's in our box, just like last time. 6x cubed minus 24x squared plus 3x minus 10x squared plus 40x minus 5. As you can see, it's just more numbers. So now we have to look for our like terms. I see 24x squared goes with 10x squared. So 6x cubed does not have any like terms. Negative 24x minus 10x squared, negative 24x squared minus 10x squared is going to be negative 34x squared. And then 3x plus 40x is going to be 43x. So now here I have 2 sets of like terms. Negative 24x squared is like negative 10x squared. I combine them. And then 3x is like 40x. I combine them. And then whatever does not have a like term, I just write it down. And my degree is written, my polynomial is written in standard form. My degree here is 3. My highest exponent is 3. Let's do another one. Here I have 2 trinomials. So if you notice, this box is not set up for 2 trinomials. It's a trinomial at the top, but it's not a trinomial at the side. So when you're making, if any time you need to make them, you need to make sure that you have a big enough box. Okay, you need to make sure you have a big enough box. Okay, so I had to extend my box so I can have a trinomial on this side. So then I'm going to take x squared, x, and 3, because x squared plus x plus 3. And then I have x squared minus 2x, so take this sign with it, minus 4. So this is going to be really long because I have a lot of numbers here. So I have x squared times x squared, which is going to be x to the 4th power. All right, I have 2 x's here and 2 x's here. That's x to the 4th. So it's 2 plus 2 is 4. Then I have x times x squared, which is going to be x to the 3rd power because I have 2 x's here and 1 x here. That's 3 x's. X squared times 3 is 3x squared. Next row is negative 2x times x squared, which is going to be negative 2x cubed. X times x squared is going to be x cubed. And then negative 2x times x is going to be negative 2x squared. And then negative 2x times 3 is going to be negative 6x. Take your time when you're doing these, guys. You don't have to rush. Now, last row, negative 4 times x squared is going to be negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times x is going to be negative 4x. And negative 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12. And we're done. That's a lot of numbers, I know. Again, do not rush. Do the don't rush challenge. Don't know if you guys have social media, if you know what that means. Now I have to write it out. X to the 4th. Let's take our time. Plus x to the 3rd. Plus 3x squared. Minus 2x cubed, or to the 3rd. Minus 2x squared minus 6x. So that's that second row. Now I'm going to write out the 3rd row. Minus 4x squared minus 4x minus 12. So if you just make sure you write it out, if you want to make sure you write out everything, just go row by row. Just write it out in order. Woo, and here you see we have a lot of numbers. So also we're going to take this slowly. We're looking for like terms. X to the 4th, scan over. X to the 4th does not have any like terms. I'm going to just rewrite it here. X cubed does have a like term. The like term is negative 2x cubed. So x cubed minus 2x cubed is going to be negative 1x cubed. Or you could just say negative x. You don't have to write the 1. 3x squared, yes, 3x squared has 2 like terms. Okay, so this is a multi-step addition or subtraction. So 3x squared minus 2x squared is going to be 1x squared. But then 1x squared minus 4x squared is going to be negative 3x squared. Okay, all I did was 3 minus 2 is 1. Minus 4 is negative 3. And you keep the x squared because we're adding here. We're not multiplying. Okay, and then finally, negative 6x and negative 4x. Negative 6x minus 4x is going to be negative 10x. And then this negative 12 does not have a like term. So now I have my polynomial written in standard form here. And my degree is 4. Okay. The only difference here, guys, is that it's more numbers, so therefore it's more steps. We just had more like terms that we had to process. Okay. All right. Using these two examples, I want you now to pause the video and try to do one on your own. The box is already set up for you. Plug in your binomial and your trinomial and do your multiplication. Okay, so let's do it. You should have done it on your own. So 2x and 7. And then 3x squared minus x plus 9. All right, let's do our multiplication. 3x squared times 2x is going to be 6x squared. I'm sorry, cubed. 6x cubed. Because I have 2 x's here and an x here, that's 3 x's. And then 2x times negative x is going to be negative 2x squared. 2x times 9 is going to be 18x. 3x squared times 7 is going to be 21x squared. Negative x times 7 is going to be negative 7x. And then 7 times 9 is going to be 63. Now we need to write out whatever we have inside of this box. So 6x cubed minus 2x squared minus 18x plus 21x squared minus 7x plus 63. Lots of numbers, I know, but you're going to work these numbers. So now we have to look for like terms. 6x cubed does not have any like terms. So we're going to rewrite it. Negative 2x squared has a like term with 21x. So negative 2x squared plus 21x is going to be positive 19x squared, because negative 2 plus 21 is 19. And then negative 18x minus 7, negative 18x minus 7x is going to be negative 25x. And then 63 does not have a like term, so we just write it down. Okay, this is our polynomial answer. 6x cubed plus 19x squared minus 25x plus 63. And here the degree is 3. It's the highest exponent. So we're done. So the only thing that's different here again for these is that you just have more numbers, okay? You just have more numbers and the box is bigger. Now, example number 2 of tricky multiplication with polynomials is when you have binomial squared, okay? You have a binomial that's squared. I'm going to show you what that means. So if it says, you know the exponent x squared So x squared, we just talked about this, is the same as saying x times x, right? You're multiplying x times x. So x times x is x squared. Okay. So the expression x plus 3 squared means that you multiply x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay. That means that you need to write the binomial twice and multiply them. So for example, we just did x plus 3 squared is the same as saying x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay? And now that you have written out your binomial, you're going to use the FOIL method or the box. Doesn't matter. So for this first one, let's use a box. I'm going to write out my box. Okay, that's an ugly box, but I wrote it out. Doesn't matter how pretty your box is, as long as it helps you. Okay, so in this top corner is always just a blank one. So in the top here, I'm going to write x and 3 and x and 3. Okay, and I'm going to do my multiplication. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. X times 3 is 3x. And then 3 times 3 is 9. So that gives me x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. Okay. Doing the same thing we've been doing so far. The only thing that changes that, I had to know that this x plus 3 squared was equal to x plus 3 times x plus 3. That's the only difference. Once you have this binomial, you know how to do the box method so far. Combine your like terms, x squared plus 6x plus 9. That is my answer. Okay. All right, now let's use the FOIL method. 2x minus 5 squared equals 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. So 2x minus 5 means I have to write squared. It means I have to write 2x minus 5 twice, multiplying them. Now let's use the FOIL method. First is 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. Outer 2x times negative 5, which is negative 10x. Inner negative 5 times 2x, which is negative 10x. Last, which is negative 5 times negative 5, which is positive 25. Okay. Again, the first step was just recognizing that 2x minus 5 squared means it's 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. So 2x minus 5 times itself. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. Negative 10x minus 10x is negative 20x. And then 25 does not have a like term. My answer is 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. All right, and last but not least, 5x minus 8 squared equals 5x minus 8 times 5x minus 8. That's the first step. That's the only thing different. Now let's use our FOIL method. First is 5x times 5x, which is 25x squared. Outer is 5x times negative 8, which is negative 40x. inner, which is negative 8 times 5x, which is negative 40x. And last is negative 8 times negative 8, which is positive 64. Combine my like terms. Negative 40x minus 40x gives me negative 80x. And this is my answer. Okay. All right, so now with all the notes, all of the videos, you can use any resource that I've given you so far. I'm giving you a quiz review practice. Now, I'm not sure if all of you have been completing any of the practice I've been giving you. I know some people have, but if you have not been practicing, this practice is probably the most important practice for your quiz. Your quiz is on polynomial operations, so adding, subtracting, multiplying polynomials. Okay, so if you look here, number 1, A and B, is multiplying using the box or FOIL method. You can use whichever method is best for you. For number 2, A and B is adding and subtracting. Number 3 is tricky. It's tricky, okay? It's multiplying a binomial and a trinomial using the notes from today. Number 4 is rewriting in standard form and stating the degree. And number 5 is the binomial square that we just did. Okay, so I will be seeing you all on Thursday for Zoom class time. I suggest that you try to complete this as much as possible and bring it to class time so that we can go over it and you can ask any questions that you have. Okay, so class time, Zoom class time will be the best time to come and get any clarification. So I suggest everyone be present. Okay. Again, your quiz will be on Friday. I will give it to you on Friday. It won't be due till Monday. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye.